These 8 useful English words will boost your everyday fluency and your IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge score. And you won't just memorize them. You'll meet each one inside the story, feel what it means, then prove you caught it. That's how your brain keeps them for good. Priya was one move away from winning the title she had dreamed of all her life, and she was about to give it up on purpose. Across the board, her opponent did not yet know that he had already lost, and neither of them knew that the silent old man watching them was about to change Priya's life. The town chess final had come down to 2 players. On one side sat Marcus, the loud gifted champion who had won the trophy 2 years running. On the other sat Priya, a quiet newcomer nobody had heard of. When the draw had paired them, Marcus had scoffed. "I'll be done with her by lunch," he told his friends, loud enough for Priya to hear. He scoffed at her the way he scoffed at every opponent he thought was beneath him. The hall was packed and silent. The only sound was the soft click of the clock and the pieces. The air was so tense that no one dared even cough. Priya's heart hammered, but she kept her hands still. She had never played in front of so many people before, and every nerve in her body was drawn tense as a wire. But once the game began, something quiet settled in her. Where Marcus played fast and flashy, Priya stayed composed. She would ponder each move for long minutes, calm and unhurried, seeing lines and traps that no one else in the room could see. Move by quiet move, the composed newcomer began to outwit Marcus and take his bold attack apart. By the second hour, Marcus was no longer smiling. He pondered his position with growing panic, his hands shaky, his lead gone. The crowd had begun to murmur. The unknown girl was winning, and then, all at once, Priya saw it. A single move that would trap Marcus's king and end the game. She had the title in her hand, but as Marcus reached out, flustered and sweating to try one last defense, the cuff of his sleeve caught the edge of a knight and knocked it sideways, one square to the left, into a square it had no right to be in. Marcus did not notice. The tired old judge, half dozing in his chair, did not notice. But Priya noticed. And in that wrong square, the knight changed everything. From where it now sat, by pure accident, Priya could win at once. A clean, instant victory, the title hers, with no one in the room any the wiser. All she had to do was stay silent, make her move, and take the trophy she had wanted her whole life. No one would ever know. Priya looked at the board for a long moment. Then she reached over and stopped the clock. "The board is wrong," she said quietly, so the judge could hear. When he reached across, his sleeve moved the knight. "It belongs on the other square. We have to put it back." A gasp ran through the hall. She was giving up a certain win for the sake of her own integrity. To Priya, winning on a mistake was not winning at all. Her integrity was worth far more than any trophy. The judge, suddenly very awake, leaned in, checked the board, and agreed. The knight went back to its true square, and just like that, Priya's easy victory was gone. The position was even again, sharp and dangerous, the game wide open. Marcus stared at her, baffled. She had handed him a second chance he had no right to expect. So Priya simply played on. Composed as ever, she bent to the board and did it the hard way. For another half an hour she fought, and calculated and slowly, fairly. With no luck and no error to help her, she managed to outwit Marcus all over again. When at last she trapped his king for real, the hall erupted. She had won the title, and she had won it clean. Marcus sat very still. Then he did something nobody expected. He stood, reached across the board, and shook her hand. "You could have beaten me on the slip," he said, his voice low. "You didn't. That was..." He stopped, and for once in his life found nothing clever to say. He simply relented and admitted it honestly. "You're a better player than me, and a better person." It was the first time anyone had ever seen Marcus truly relent. Afterwards, the silent old judge came and sat down beside Priya. She had assumed he was just a club volunteer. He was not. He was Victor Halash, a name she knew from the history books, a grandmaster who had walked away from the game 40 years before. "I have watched 10,000 games of chess," the old man said, "and I have seen brilliant moves, and beautiful moves. But the finest move I have ever seen in all my long life was a young woman stopping the clock to put a knight back where it belonged." He offered that very day to coach her, the legend who had vanished from chess, drawn back by a single act of honesty over a wooden board. Priya had come to the final dreaming only of a trophy. She left with the trophy, yes, but also with a teacher, a humbled rival turned friend, and the quiet certainty that the move which had truly changed her life was the one where she chose, freely, to lose. Now, and did you catch all 8? Let's find out. A noun for the person you play or compete against. Think of the boxer standing in the far corner of the ring from you. Across the chessboard, Marcus was Priya's one and only this. She sat down to face her, what across the silent board? The word is opponent. She shook hands with her opponent before the big match began. An adjective meaning strained, nervous, and full of tension. Think of the frozen moment just before a referee blows for a penalty. The silent, packed hall felt exactly like this as they played. The air grew so what kind of that no one in the hall dared to cough.
The word is tense.
The whole room went tense as they waited for the results. A verb meaning to mock someone or dismiss them with contempt. It's what a bully does, sneering at someone they think is weak. Marcus did this at Priya. Sure, he would beat her by lunch. He would do what at any player he believed was beneath him.
The word is scoff.
Critics scoffed at the idea, but it soon proved a great success. A verb meaning to think about something long and carefully. It's what you do over a hard decision, weighing it in your mind. Priya did this over each move for several quiet minutes. She would do what? Think slowly, over each move while the clock ticked on.
The word is ponder.
He sat by the window to ponder the difficult choice ahead. An adjective meaning calm, steady, and fully in control of yourself. Think of a pilot whose voice stays perfectly level in a storm. While Marcus panicked, Priya stayed exactly this throughout. She remained cool and what kind of even as the whole hall watched her.
The word is composed.
She stayed remarkably composed while she gave the difficult speech. A verb meaning to finally give in and soften after resisting. It's what a strict parent does when they at last say a tired yes. At the end, Marcus did this, his pride giving way to respect. He was forced to do what? Give in at last and admit she had beaten him fairly?
The word is relent.
She begged for hours until her father finally began to relent. A verb meaning to defeat someone by being cleverer than them. It's how a clever fox escapes hounds that are far bigger and faster. Twice over, Priya did this to the cocky favorite at the board. She managed to do what? Defeat by cleverness? Marcus through skill alone?
The word is outwit.
The smaller team managed to outwit their rivals with a clever plan. A noun for honesty and strong moral principles, always doing right. It's what makes a person tell the truth even when no one is watching. Priya gave up a certain win for the sake of this very quality. Her what meant far more to her than any trophy she could ever win.
The word is integrity.
A good judge must be a person of complete honesty and integrity. Quick recap. How many do you still remember? Opponent,
Tense. Scoff. Ponder. Composed. Relent. Outwit. Integrity.
a new English story every day. Subscribe and learn useful words the way your brain actually keeps them. Inside a story you won't forget.